All right, so you're prepping for a geophysicist interview and thinking about using physics to understand the Earth.
That's right.
But interviews can be kind of scary, even when you know your stuff,
Yeah.
which is where this deep dive comes in. We've got some great resources from RoleCatcher, including career guides and interview guides to help you totally nail this thing.
It's like having a playbook, just for your geophysics career.
Exactly. So how would you describe what a geophysicist actually does?
Well, think of them as detectives who use physics to uncover the Earth's secrets.
Ooh, I like that.
They use tools like gravity meters and seismographs to find oil and gas deposits or monitor earthquakes,
I see.
even study climate change.
Okay, so it's not just about rocks and dirt.
Definitely not.
So what's an interview question that often trips people up?
One that I see a lot is, what inspired you to pursue a career in geophysics?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah.
How do you recommend approaching that one?
Well, it's a chance to really showcase your passion.
Passion. Okay.
Like, think about a specific experience that sparked your interest.
Okay.
Maybe it was a childhood fascination with volcanoes, or a research project in college,
Right.
or even just a documentary you saw. Connect that experience to your desire to solve problems
I see.
and, contribute to the field.
So it's about showing them you're genuinely excited about geophysics.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
not just looking for any job.
Right.
Now, let's say they ask about your experience with geophysical instruments and techniques.
Okay.
What are some key things to keep in mind for that one?
Well, don't just list the tools you've used.
Uh-huh.
Give specific examples of how you've applied those tools in real-world situations.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you've worked with ground-penetrating radar, you could describe a project where you used it to map underground utilities or locate archaeological artifacts.
Details, details, details.
Exactly. It's all about painting a picture of your practical experience.
Now, what if you're lacking experience in certain areas? Should you just be upfront about that?
Well, you can still highlight relevant coursework or projects,
Okay.
Like if you haven't used a magnetometer in the field, you could discuss a lab experiment where you used one
Right.
to measure magnetic fields.
It's about showing them you have the foundational knowledge and are eager to learn more.
Absolutely.
Okay, so another common question I bet is, how do you stay up to date on the latest developments in geophysics?
Oh, for sure.
I'm guessing reading journals is a pretty standard answer.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
So how can you make that response more impactful?
Well, you could mention specific journals or publications you follow,
Okay.
like the Journal of Geophysical Research or Geophysics, those kinds of things.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
You could also talk about conferences you've attended,
Oh,
like the annual meeting of the American Geophysical Union.
So it's about showcasing your active engagement with the geophysics community.
Exactly.
Now, what about those tricky behavioral questions?
Oh, yeah, those can be tough.
Like, describe a challenging project and how you overcame obstacles. That's a classic.
How can someone prepare for that?
Choose a project where you faced a significant hurdle,
Right.
whether it was technical difficulties or data limitations, or even personality clashes within a team.
Oh, yeah, those can be tough.
Explain the problem, clearly outline the steps you took to address it,
I see.
and emphasize the skills you used to overcome the challenge.
So problem solving and critical thinking are really key here.
Absolutely. Those are highly valued in geophysics.
Now, RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer when it comes to crafting interview answers, right?
It really can.
How so?
Well, the AI can actually analyze your responses and give you tailored feedback
Wow.
based on this specific job description.
Interesting.
It might suggest highlighting certain skills or experiences,
Okay.
or even adjusting your tone to better align with the company culture.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal interview coach.
It really is.
Now let's move on to another common question.
Sure.
Describe a time you had to make a difficult decision on a project. Yes. This one assesses your judgment and decision-making abilities.
How should someone structure their answer for that?
Well, choose a situation where you had to weigh multiple factors and make a tough call.
Okay.
Start by describing the situation and the decision that needed to be made.
Got it.
Then outline the options you considered, the factors you weighed,
Uh-huh.
and the rationale behind your final choice.
Okay.
Don't forget to discuss the outcome and any lessons you learned from the experience.
So it's about showing you can analyze the situation, consider different perspectives, and make a reasoned decision.
Exactly. And it's important to be honest and authentic.
Right. Interviewers can definitely spot a canned response.
Oh, for sure.
Now, field work can be unpredictable.
You never know what's going to happen out there.
How can someone prepare for questions about troubleshooting equipment problems?
Well, this is your chance to showcase your practical skills and resourcefulness.
Okay.
Think of a specific incident where you encountered a technical issue in the field.
Right.
Explain the problem, the steps you took to diagnose it. And the solution you implemented.
So it's not just about fixing the problem,
No.
but about showing you can think critically under pressure.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to talk about what you learned, even if the solution wasn't obvious.
Right. It shows you're adaptable and willing to learn from your mistakes.
Okay, good. Now let's talk about teamwork.
Okay.
How should someone approach questions about collaborating on projects?
Choose an example where you worked well as part of a team.
Right.
It could be from an academic setting, a previous job, or even volunteering.
Got it.
Highlight your communication skills, your ability to contribute to goals, and your willingness to take on different roles within a team.
So it's all about showing you're a team player.
Yes, someone who can collaborate effectively.
And don't be afraid to talk about challenges you faced as a team.
Definitely.
And how you overcame them together.
That's important.
Now, RoleCatcher's AI can also help tailor your answers to specific job roles and companies, right?
It can. It analyzes job descriptions and finds keywords and phrases that are relevant to the position you're applying for.
So it's like having a secret weapon.
It kind of
To make your answers stand out.
Right.
That's a great tip. All right, so we've covered some common interview questions and how to approach them strategically.
Yes, we have.
Before we move on to part 2, are there any quick career insights from the Geophysicist Career Guide that we should mention?
Absolutely. The guide emphasizes the importance of staying current in this field.
Okay.
It suggests subscribing to industry publications, joining professional organizations.
Like the Society of Exploration Geophysicists.
Exactly, and attending workshops and conferences.
So it's about showing a commitment to continuous learning.
Yes.
And professional development.
It sounds like the world of geophysics is constantly evolving.
It really is.
So staying ahead of the curve is crucial.
For sure.
And that's where resources like RoleCatcher can be so valuable.
They give you the tools and information you need to navigate your career.
And stay ahead of the competition.
This has been incredibly insightful. Make sure to join us for part 2, where we'll explore even more interview tips and career insights.
We'll dig even deeper
to help you land that dream geophysics job.
It's out there.
See you then.
See ya. Welcome back to our deep dive on prepping for geophysicist interviews.
We're ready to dig even deeper.
Yeah.
You know.
Excellent. Let's go back to the Geophysicist Career Guide.
Yeah. What else does it say?
And see what other insights we can find.
I'm especially curious about the career path itself.
Okay.
What does a typical trajectory look like?
Well, the guide outlines various stages, starting from entry-level roles like junior geophysicist or field technician.
Makes sense.
As you gain experience, you might move up to project geophysicist or data analyst.
Okay.
And with further expertise, you could become a senior geophysicist or a research scientist.
Wow. So many options.
Leading teams and big projects.
That's awesome. So what are some key skills and experiences that are essential for moving up that ladder?
Technical proficiency is crucial, of course.
Like knowing your stuff.
Expertise in using geophysical software and interpreting complex data.
That's a given.
But the guide also emphasizes soft skills.
Oh, interesting. Like what?
Like communication and teamwork.
Okay.
Remember, geophysicists often work in teams.
Yes, that's true.
So being able to explain your findings to colleagues and stakeholders is super important.
So it's not just about the science, but also how you communicate it.
Exactly. It's a blend of scientific knowledge and strong interpersonal skills.
The guide also mentioned the importance of continuous learning, right?
Absolutely. Pursuing advanced degrees like a master's or a PhD can open doors to specialized roles and leadership positions.
Okay.
Additionally, industry-recognized certifications.
Oh, right. Like what are some examples?
Like certified petroleum geophysicist or certified engineering geologist.
I see.
Can demonstrate your expertise.
Yeah, makes sense.
And commitment to professional development.
So it's not just about the initial degree.
Nope.
But about constantly learning and growing.
Exactly. Keep expanding your knowledge and skills.
Now, what about salary expectations?
Okay.
How should someone approach that topic during an interview?
It's good to research typical salary ranges
Okay.
for geophysicist roles in your area and with your level of experience.
Makes sense.
Websites like Glassdoor or salary.com can be helpful.
So you go in armed with data.
Exactly.
But what if they directly ask for your salary expectations?
It's usually best to provide a range based on your research,
Right.
rather than a fixed number.
I see.
You could say, based on my experience and the current market rate, I'm seeking a salary in the range of.
Got it. So be prepared with data, but also be flexible.
Right. Be open to discussion.
Now, we talked about RoleCatcher's AI helping with interview answers.
Yes.
Can you explain how it actually works?
Sure. Imagine a personalized feedback system that analyzes your responses and suggests improvements tailored to the specific job you're applying for.
Interesting.
That's what RoleCatcher's AI does. It scans your answers for keywords,
Oh, wow.
assesses your tone, and even checks for potential red flags.
It's like having an expert editor for your interview responses.
It really is. Can you give an example?
Yeah, like how might it suggest improvements?
Let's say you're answering the question about a challenging project.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's AI might suggest adding more quantifiable results
Oh, interesting.
to showcase the impact of your work.
Like what?
Instead of just saying you improved data accuracy, you could say you increased data accuracy by 15%, resulting in more reliable interpretations.
Oh, that's much better. It's all about the details.
Right, those specific details that make your answer stand out.
Does the AI also help with preparing for follow-up questions?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher has a huge database
Wow.
of common interview questions and follow-ups specific to various roles, including geophysicist positions.
That's amazing.
It can help you anticipate the interviewer's next question
I see.
and prepare a thoughtful response in advance.
That's incredibly helpful. Now let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Talk about a question that often comes up in technical interviews. Explain a complex geophysical concept to someone with no scientific background.
Oh, that's a good one.
How can you effectively communicate technical information to a non-technical audience?
The key is to use analogies and relatable examples.
Okay, I like that.
For instance, if you're explaining seismic waves,
Yeah.
you could compare them to the ripples created when you throw a stone into a pond.
That was a good one.
Or if you're describing gravity surveys, you could talk about how a denser object like a metal detector would cause a slight change in the Earth's gravitational pull.
So it's about making those connections to everyday things.
Exactly. It helps people understand the science behind geophysics.
And it's important to make sure the listeners actually understand.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And adjust your explanation if you need to.
If you see their eyes glazing over, simplify it or use a different analogy.
It's all about tailoring your message to the audience.
For sure.
Now let's talk about a question that assesses problem-solving abilities. You're in the field and your equipment malfunctions. How do you troubleshoot the problem?
That's a classic field scenario.
How can someone show their resourcefulness in that situation?
First, emphasize safety.
Of course, safety first.
Before attempting any repairs, make sure the area is secure
Right.
and you're taking necessary precautions.
Okay.
Then describe a systematic approach to troubleshooting.
Like what?
Start by identifying the symptoms.
Right.
Is there an error message? Are readings inaccurate?
Got it.
Then check the basics, power sources, connections, and any obvious physical damage.
So it's about starting with the logical process of elimination.
Exactly. What if the problem isn't immediately apparent?
Yeah, what then?
If basic checks don't work, consult available resources.
Like what kind of resource?
Equipment manuals, online forums, or even contact technical support.
Okay.
Explain the steps you would take to gather information and narrow down the potential causes.
It's about showing initiative and a willingness to find solutions.
Right, even in challenging situations.
What if the malfunction needs specialized knowledge or tools you don't have?
Honesty is key. Acknowledge your limitations.
Okay.
And outline the steps you would take to escalate the issue.
I see.
This could involve contacting a more experienced colleague, requesting assistance from a specialist, or documenting the problem thoroughly for further investigation.
So it's about knowing when to ask for help.
Yes.
And making sure the problem is addressed efficiently.
Exactly. And it's a good chance to highlight your communication and problem-solving skills.
This has been so insightful.
It's been great.
We've covered a lot of ground in this part.
We have.
From career progression to salary discussions to troubleshooting technical issues. And we've seen how RoleCatcher's AI can provide personalized guidance
For sure.
and feedback throughout the interview process.
Definitely.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into geophysics careers.
We've covered a lot when it comes to getting ready for those interviews.
Yeah. But it doesn't end there, right? You got the job, and then what?
Exactly. And RoleCatcher is there to help you navigate your career.
So they're with you every step of the way.
with resources to help you figure things out even after you land that job.
It's like having a career GPS, just for geophysics.
Yeah, a good way to think about it. Remember all those transferable skills we talked about? RoleCatcher has tools that can help you analyze those skills
Okay.
and use them even if you decide to explore other paths.
So you might start out as a geophysicist, focused on oil and gas exploration,
Right.
but then you discover a passion for environmental geophysics,
That happens.
or maybe even transition into a related field like mining or geotechnical engineering.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher's network optimizer can help you connect with people in those fields.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can expand your network and maybe find some new opportunities.
It's like a super-powered LinkedIn, specifically for earth sciences.
That's a good way to put it. What about those certifications we talked about?
Yeah. Do they help you beyond just getting the job?
Oh, absolutely. Certifications like Certified Petroleum Geophysicist or Certified Engineering Geologist show your commitment to professional development.
Okay.
And they can really boost your credibility in the industry.
I see.
They can lead to leadership roles, research opportunities,
Wow.
and even a higher salary.
So it's like earning a badge of honor.
Kinda, it shows
Yeah.
your expertise and dedication.
So RoleCatcher isn't just a job board.
No, not at all.
It's a whole platform for building a successful career in geophysics.
It is. It gives you the knowledge, the tools, and the connections to really thrive in this field.
Which is always evolving and changing.
Exactly. So what are some key takeaways for our listeners who are starting out in geophysics?
Yeah, what's the most important advice?
Well, first of all, be ready to show your passion during interviews.
Enthusiasm goes a long way.
It really does highlight your technical skills, of course. But don't forget about those soft skills like communication and teamwork.
Those are so important.
They really are. And remember, RoleCatcher is there to help you,
They've got your back.
offering personalized guidance and resources every step of the way.
From getting ready for interviews
Right.
to advancing your career.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to use their AI-powered tools and get advice from the experts.
Okay, so before we wrap up,
Sure.
let's leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
The sources we looked at mentioned advancements like 3D imaging and using drones in geophysics.
Yeah, some really cool technology.
How do you see those technologies changing the future of the field?
That's a great question. These advancements are really revolutionizing things.
In what way?
They're changing how we collect and analyze data
Okay.
and leading to more efficient and sustainable practices.
Like in what areas specifically?
Like resource exploration and environmental monitoring.
So it's a really exciting time to be a geophysicist.
It is. There's so much potential for innovation and discovery.
To all those aspiring geophysicists out there,
Yeah.
embrace the challenges, stay curious, and never stop learning.
That's the key.
The Earth has so many mysteries,
It does.
and you could be the one to uncover them.
That's the beauty of geophysics. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We hope you learned a lot and feel ready to chase your dreams in this amazing field.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring